a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, and here we are again another day, committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate, and tax planning. And we want to serve the community as that consumer advocate as we do. The best way is for you to save our hotline number in your phone. We're getting a lot of calls. People want to know how they can get pre-qualified for a mortgage, how they can improve their credit. They may want to know about home services that we talk about, our solar companies that we're involved with. And we do a great job in terms of pairing you up with that consumer advocate business that's going to help you save time and money when it comes to all these different areas of real estate, business, and life. Save our hotline number, 813-670-7372. Give us a call on the hotline. You can call or text that number. It's an off-air line, and we're going to make sure we get right back to you before our head hits the pillow. 813-670-7372. Bookmark consumerqb.com. Of course, we'd love to link up with you on LinkedIn, connect online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page out there. And welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. A couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. I got 1010 Bay Esplanade over on Clearwater Beach. This is a gorgeous property. This is right on the north side of the beach. You're basically in Millionaire's Row there, surrounded by celebrities and the like. It's 1010 Bay Esplanade. This is a nice home, 3,200 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. You got a third-story sun deck overlooking the Intercoastal and the beautiful dolphin-filled waters of Clearwater Beach and the Sugar Sand beaches right there in Clearwater. And we got a great lineup for you today. We got Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage, calling in. Welcome, Diane.
Hey, thank you, Brandon. Good to be here. Good to hear your voice.
Thank you much. Likewise, yes. Nice to be back. And we got our partner out there as well, William Crowley, the credit magician, going to be jumping in here and helping us with information around. Today we're going to compare, what's the comparison between repair versus restoration as well, William?
Yes, that's what we want to talk about. Start the new year off right. Like Diane says, she's setting her goals and objectives for the year. I want to help people set their goals and objectives in the credit industry on how to choose an effective credit repair or credit restoration company, know the difference. And it's all about what you learn in the whole process is probably the most important aspect. Most people go through credit repair and don't even know how it happened. So we at Credit Restoration, we want to show you not only make things happen, but show you how they happen.
Yeah,
show
absolutely.
You for life.
Yeah, and there's a lot of misnomers. I want to jump into one that comes up a lot very soon here as well with Diane VANCE. Lisa Wall's coming up later in the show. If you ever wanted to write your own book, become a published author, she's going to talk about ways you can do that. Also, increase your marketability as a business owner. I use it for my real estate business. I'm on my third book. I'm almost done. I'm in the proofreading stage. I actually had Lindsay write a chapter as well on some of the strengths that she brings to our team. But that book is coming out very soon. It's called Quarterbacking Success, the playbook to millionaire real estate business. So we're going to talk about that. Cool things happening here in Tampa Bay. Interesting story coming up as well. Our feel-good story, missing boater found clinging to capsized boat. Can you imagine that? You've seen that play out in the news. But what a wonderful job our Coast Guard does, and, of course, all of our other first responders. So that's coming up in our feel-good story. Let's go ahead and kick it to Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Diane, this is the time of year people are starting to get ready for their goal setting. They're picking out their goals. They're coming up with ideas and plans, trying to reach that next level.
Yeah, so every year, Brandon, what I ask my loan officers to do, and I do myself, is every year I always go back and look at the last year. And the year in review, I call it, because you pull up your photos, your journal, your calendar, whatever, social media. It'll jog your memory so you can remember what are your biggest wins that you had over the last year. And then you want to continue by, what's your values? What's good? What's important to you? I mean, it's not just about business, but it's also about family and life goals and personal goals and things like that. So what's important to you? Where are your values? And then what you do is from 1 to 10, mark, what, the most important, and then pick the top 3. and then kind of live by those top three. And believe it or not, a lot of times your values actually change the older you get or when circumstances change.
Yeah.
So a lot of things change every year, and you want to do a life assessment. What's important in your life? If it's family, do things around family. If it's finances, we talked about a vision board. I always have done a vision board. And, what do you want to do? It's funny. I listened to a podcast from one of our other managers in Fairway, and he was in Costa Rica, and he does 6 weeks in Costa Rica during the winter. Of course, he's from Utah. That's probably why. But he was in Costa Rica, and he does his business planning really, really deep. And he actually has, and you and I were kind of joking about it, but he has his plan out to his 100th birthday.
Nice.
So he has every year until his 100th birthday. Of course, things change every year. But it's really important to create your vision and what do you stand for? What's your tension in your life? What's your tension in your business? How can you change your behavior? What's holding you back from where you want to be? And where do you want to be, not where does somebody else want you to be? So it's, you start with gratitude. That's the way you do your vision is you start with gratitude and you go from there. And, what do you really want? What do you need to get what you want? And, how much do you want it? So there's a lot of things that really goes into it, not just a business plan, but a life plan. And it kind of does go hand in hand. So I actually do this every year. I go to my rock, which just happens to be in my backyard, but I go and kind of just turn off the phones. I don't go to Costa Rica, but although that's a great idea, but I don't do that. So, I kind of go through what am I going to do as far as business? What am I going to do? How many calls am I going to make a week? What do I have to do to get where I want to go by the end of the year? And of course, I start out looking at the past year. And, this has been a challenging year for a lot of people. So it was kind of tough for me this past year. Business was great, but that was only part of it because it's been a tough year for people. So it's been, I don't think, we're going to look back at this and say, wow, we all, made it through this. And, once we're on the other side, it's good because, I get to, I'm really excited about the next year. Our business was great this past year, even with COVID. It actually was, housing is excellent, as building new homes, existing homes, there's not enough houses in the market. There's tons of people that want to buy. So it's been really good. So a lot of my wins were, that I talked to a lot of people that are planning. So I talked to a lot of people that want to plan for the future. And that was one of my wins for this year is that I talked to so many customers that are planning and where do they go and how do they get there. And part of that we talked about a little bit in the past is, credit. A lot of them started out with a credit. I've actually sent, William some folks to work on credit. And so that's one of my wins is helping people. And I've always kept not the dollars in mind, but the helping people has always been one of my biggest focuses, and I think that's the reason I'm successful at what I do because I really do care, and it's all about help. So
yeah, that's important. If you just joined us, we're talking with Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage, local lender, supporting the local economy here by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we're talking about goal setting and setting those ideas, talking about your non-negotiables. These are areas that I don't want to allow myself to be pulled into. And one thing I'm kind of battling with right now is, of course, having a heart attack and surgeries. You start thinking more and more about what you mentioned, Diane, and that's time. Where do I want to spend my time? So I've been kind of getting pulled, and I've been reaching out to some of my mentors and just different people that I've known in politics. But I'm considering. I'm right now still in the investigation side of it, but I'm considering a run for state rep or a county commissioner, something along those lines. But then you really get into how much time do I want to spend with family? What about my businesses? And then I look at something like that as something that might be an advantage to both of those things because it's going to help elevate all the brands and all the businesses.
True. Yeah. Well, I'll vote for you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm looking at that, and I'm getting really good advice. When I talk to different attorneys or politicians, people that have been in that game, they say, here's the strategy, here's what you need to learn, here's what you need to know. So I'm kind of gathering information still and considering that, but yeah, it really does come down to what is your number one outcome. The more that you can think, have that future truth. You ever hear your future truth, right? So in the future, I'm a millionaire. You come up with your incantations. You can do that. There's a lot of ways that you can really play with your subconscious mind, because that's where the goals start, is in the subconscious mind.
Absolutely. I had a vision board even when I was younger. My husband and I used to always sit down and, we would have our vision board together. And of course I would have my vision board for my business and he would have his vision board, but we would have it as a family, because everything in my life is, kind of evolves around my family.
Right.
So that's the ultimate goal. And, that's what's always been. And I always go back to that. And my vision board, and you're right, you look at it every day, as silly as it sounds, but it's not silly, because it's actually pictures of things I wanted. And guess what? I'm a little older now, and a lot of those things have actually came to fruition. I think it's truly because it was subconsciously, that's what I wanted to do. I love people, so I'm in a great business because I do love people. And, you're in a great business because, there are a lot of people. So that's one of the things I've always enjoyed. But the vision board is, I had it down to how many children I wanted to have, and it's kind of interesting. But you have to have a plan, no matter how big or small it is. You always have to adjust your plan. Mm-hmm. So whether it's quarterly, yearly, whatever it is. I do the big planning yearly, but I do adjust it throughout the year. And this is one of those years I did adjust it, and I actually was quite surprised. But I actually did better than my adjustments. But I really do think that it starts with a plan, and whatever, and you have to have what is your most important goal, and what are you working for, and then or what are you doing, or what. It doesn't matter whether it's life, business. It doesn't matter. You have to have a plan.
That's right. Work the plan, plan smart, work smart.
Yep.
And then reverse engineering. Okay, what do I need to do? What is Gary Keller's book, The One Thing? What is the one thing I need to do this month in order to reach my yearly goal? And then you break it down to this week to reach my monthly goal, and then this day, today, what do I need to do to reach my weekly goal? So it's simple math. It's breaking it down, and it's having accountability and an action plan. So when we come back, I want to talk about action plans and some of the things that you can do to actually move forward, to have strategy around what your goal setting is. We got William Crowley coming up as well. All that you want to know about improving your credit, William Crowley is going to be able to help you with that. More from Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage. And we also have our feel-good story of the day. Find out about these missing boater who was found clinging to a capsized boat right here off the coast of Florida. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you check out consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Man, I'm feeling good. Fresh off my trip down to visit Replenish IV Solutions. Stephen and Lisa gunning down at Replenish IV Solutions. The nursing staff, everyone's so nice and sweet. And what it is, it's a vitamin injection through an IV right into your bloodstream. So it makes you feel great. You know you're energizing. You know you're doing the good things for your body, boosting your immunity, of course, during this Chinese virus, COVID-19 virus. And Replenish IV Solutions, they've got 3 locations here in Tampa. Now, Gandy Boulevard. They also have one at Northdale, right off of Bears, right up there in the Northdale area, and a Wesley Chapel location as well. And the best location is at your home or your office. They will deliver directly to your home or office, and they're going to set up. I saw a picture on Instagram I was saying the other day is where the guy was sitting out back, laying out, getting some sun. So he's bringing in the natural vitamin D, and then he's getting a vitamin infusion from Replenish IV right into his arm. So how nice is that at your own hour, your convenience? Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the program. And we got a great lineup for you today. Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage. William Crowley, the credit magician's in the house as well. Well on the phone. He's on the phone today. But, yeah, we're going to talk about repair versus restoration, credit repair. And then also with Diane, going to talk about some of the adjustments that people make when they're doing their game plan, their goal setting, and it's that time of year. And coming up later in the show as well, Lisa Walls, the Ghost Publishing, as we had mentioned earlier, talk about writing, becoming a published author, a lot of cool things you can do with that as well, theghostpublishing.com. So let's go back to Diane. Diane, we kind of teased it by saying, action item. It's great to have these goals, and sometimes people set too lofty goals in some people's opinion. But, what's the action item? What's the strategy? I think that's key.
Oh, yeah. So what you want to do is look at where you've been. And then you want to adjust where you've been. Look at where you've been, and you know where you want to go, but don't make it so big that you feel I don't make it where it's so big. Like, let's say, if I want to do sales of, I don't know, $1 million this year, and I make it $3 million. Don't make it so large that you feel like you've failed, as you go throughout the year.
Right.
So you want to write down what are the 3 most important, and just like Gary Keller, just pick one. Pick something you're going to do differently that you haven't done, and pick that one. Keep doing the things. Look at what you're doing as far as successful.
Yes.
What is working for you, and then I plagiarize a lot. I mean, actually, I don't actually plagiarize, but I do because I get ideas from a lot of different sources, different people, and then I'm like, oh, that's a great idea, and then I add it. So you pick one. Look for successful people that are like-minded like you, and then, you pick one of their ideas and you add it to that your plan.
Yeah.
So that's always a good place to start.
You're talking about modeling, basically. You're talking about modeling an expert. Everybody does it. Tony Robbins modeled Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn modeled Earl Schoaf. So modeling, R&D, aka rip off and duplicate. Everybody does it. It's kind of the way in business you see it. You see it in politics too, as we found out this year. But William Crowley, do you want to add anything to the goal setting side of this conversation? I love this time of year. It's just such a nice time to replenish and just reinvigorate, and then come into 2021 strong.
Yeah, no, I like the discussion, and I wanted, in talking about my services, I'm always, trying to help the clients to look ahead and to envision what their credit could do for them once it's improved. And specifically in this case is buying homes. Right. But just the vision brand and the vision board, and the planning, everything that you and Diane have mentioned, I think these are great ideals. I don't have anything to add to it other than just to chime in and say that I support everything, and I've got to get on that book writing thing as well. I've been procrastinating about it for the last 5 years with you, Brandon, but I want to listen into the lady that's talking about the book so I can get some information out there. But I've had some, I guess reservations as well because it is public information. It's the Fair Credit Reporting Act, so I'll listen in and see about maybe even possibly doing a book as well on the credit industry. I know there's 1 million out there though already.
I think you'd be you'd be great because you got the personality for it, and then you bring that into your personal stories. You know how they say story selling. So when you're giving those stories of, hey, this is client A that we help with this scenario, I think that would really be helpful for people to see those stories play out in real life.
True, I like that. Yeah, believe me, I've got a million of them.
So William, there's so much misconception out there, and people are so confused about credit. I think you could write probably 2 books on that.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true, and that's all I've done for the last 20 years, day in and day out, 24/7. Is just eat, breathe, and drink this whole credit thing. So I've got a lot of good, great stories. Both probably some. I mean, everything's positive, but I'm saying the negative aspects that are converted to positive, and then of course the positive in itself. All of it kind of goes hand in hand, but it is really valuable for people to understand, and even it'll help me as well to understand the process even better when I start to give the stories out. There's some of the examples, that I've seen. But I like what you all are talking about, the whole vision board and the planning and everything like that, and Diane's everything centered around the family. And even Brandon, you gonna run for office, huh?
I'm thinking about making a run. It's to a position where I see where I can make a difference. I see, what's going on out there, and I think that I just got to research it and find out, get a good team together, and do some research at first. Maybe a state house rep, and then potentially just count.
Just make sure you don't get robbed at the election.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right. So, William and Diane, this is something where, we sometimes we ask for a second pre-approval during that process before we accept an offer on one of our real estate listings. It's diligent. It's smart to ask for a pre-approval. For example, with Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage can get a quick pre-approval or even a second approval. And the question that always comes up is they say, well, you're going to pull my client's credit again, and it's going to hurt their score. So it's such a misconception, and I try to explain that every time, and they, people just they kind of have them stuck in their head. So talk about that for me.
Yeah, so it's kind of like if when you go buy a car, and the dealer pulls all these different, none of that hits your credit. It's the same way with a mortgage. The idea is that you can shop for a mortgage. That's the whole idea behind not pulling your credit or not having your credit hit so once you pull a mortgage, it's not going to get hit. I mean, it's for at least 30 days. It's actually 45 days, but I guess some companies do 30 days is what I've been told, but 45 days is actually what the rule is. So even if let's say it's 2 months ago or something like that, the mortgage credit hit is so minimal that it's not really going to make a difference. You probably would make it up in your payment or something like that. Yeah. But we don't charge for credit reports at all. We don't charge, even when you closed with us, we do not charge for credit reports. It just got to be too much as far as keeping track of it. So we just don't charge for it. Yeah. So if somebody wants to pull their credit, and they've already pulled it, what is it, William? Probably maybe 2 to 5 points, or something like that.
2 to 10 points per inquiry.
Yeah. So it just depends on when it is. But if you pulled it, let's say 2 weeks ago, it is not going to affect you if I pull it, or vice versa. If I pull it and somebody else pulls it, it's not going to affect your credit.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I like to add is that if it does affect your credit, it's going to affect it minimally, but you can also dispute those inquiries as well, because that's what a credit restoration does. Is we go after the information that does in fact belong to the client. So you can pull the inquiry, pull the report, and be dinged for 2 to 10 points. It'll offset it once you get approved, more than likely, but still you want to get that negative stuff off the credit at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's dive a little deeper in strategy also with William Crowley. I want to give some nuggets away, but also want to offer your credit package in the next segment. And coming up as well, Lisa Walls, the Ghost Publishing in the House, talk about how you can become a published author, write your own book, and also our feel-good story of the day about this missing boater off the Atlantic coast found clinging to a boat. Find out about that story. More from our expert contributors here coming up right after this message. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page, consumerqb.com. We'll be right back.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Okay, we're clear. Are we waiting on somebody else to join us in the studio?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're actually all set here. Hey, I had an idea, Jose. What about instead of running those commercials for like 1 week or maybe a week, 2 weeks or something, what if we put those 90s in for the Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco?
I'd have to do that. Let's do that in earnest for next Tuesday.
Yeah. Whatever you think. I just thought, man, that's a good idea to roll that through as updated content.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Perfect.
So Johnny's ready to proceed?
I think Johnny's ready. Yep.
All right, everyone, please stand by.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any scenario we talk about, any marketplace where if you're a consumer, we're going to help educate you in those spaces. 80 different categories, multiple types of attorneys, all different categories of specialization. We've got CPAs, financial advisors, great show partners here, what we call our expert contributors on the show, and it's ultimately all designed to help you save money, help you save time, help you save a lot of hassle, and potentially, save being sued, save a lawsuit in some cases. We've had that happen over the years as well. Save our hotline. Give us a call on the hotline, 813-670-7372. You can call or text that line, 813 number 670-7372, and that's our consumer advocate hotline. Of course, you can visit us on the web, consumerqb.com, submit an email form there, and that form will come right through to our team, and we'll make sure we answer your question, get you in touch with folks. We had a lot of folks reaching out. Sometimes they want to know, chain of title questions. What's the difference between a quit claim deed, a warranty deed, these different scenarios playing out. So we urge you to call in. We want to speak to you. And sometimes they call and say, well, hey, I'm not on the air. Am I? I'm not on the air. No, you won't be put directly on the air. We'll let you know if you were to be put on the air. But we definitely want to help you win. We help our sellers win, by the way. If you're listing a property out there, you're leaving money on the table if you're not listing with us, because we got, first of all, Keller Williams, a lot of unique programs there, but also with our radio and TV show, we're able to feature your property in ways that other real estate companies don't. For example, we've got 4102 West Savalia Street, and I'll have Jonathan put that up on the screen for me. 4102 West Savalia Street. It's Sevilla, Sevilla, South Tampa. This is a corner lot property, gorgeous home, and the owner's motivated. This is a great opportunity to see a beautiful South Tampa home right here in Tampa Bay. 4102 West Savalia Street is a corner lot property in South Tampa. All right, let's skip over to 6128 Oak Ridge Avenue, Newport Richey. This one is on the river. It's an acre lot, a 1 acre lot in Newport Richey with bay access. You boat out into the Gulf of Mexico. You go fishing out there. You enjoy a nice time. Owners motivated here as well. Great opportunities from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, so we've got Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage, William Crowley, the Credit Magician, and coming up as well, Lisa Walls from the Ghost Publishing. So let's go back to William. William, let's offer your credit package. Let's get this out there, because I think an empowered consumer is a wise consumer.
Oh, definitely. And that's why we're so adamant about showing the difference between the two, credit restoration versus credit repair, because in credit restoration and in the package that we're going to give, it's all about teaching you how to do your own credit. Even though we're doing it for you, everything is transparent, unlike your traditional credit repair companies, which are doing everything behind the scenes. They don't even send you a copy of the disputes that they're using from the Fair Credit Reporting Act to challenge the negative information on your credit report. So in the package, We give you copies of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, even aspects of the Uniform Commercial Code, so you can make a determination on what is real debt and what is unreal debt. In other words, the unreal debt is like charged off account. That's really unreal debt that most consumers, by ignoring it, have transformed it into a real debt. But it still can be challenged by using what they call a validation of debt. All this will be in the package. I know sometimes I'm kind of speaking unscientifically, and it's maybe difficult to understand the particular verbiage that we use in the industry.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, it's not that difficult. It's mainly that we're going after the information that legally belongs to you on your credit report. If it doesn't belong to you, then I strongly encourage people to file a police report and become proactive in that regard, file a police report, and then use that police report to have the information removed off your credit report because it doesn't belong to you anyway. But the information that does in fact belong to you, we want to show you how to legally at least diminish it, if not get all of it. Okay, usually we get about 75 to 85%. So in that package, we're going to even talk about the promotional block, which most companies don't tell you about either. But the promotional block is another real protective measure that consumers can use to become invisible with the credit reporting agencies who are marketing your information for monetary gain. And you're not getting any type of compensation off of that, so therefore you want your name pulled off that list. And then it allows you to become what you call less visible to the industry, where you could become susceptible to bad credit. To identity theft.
Yeah. Identity theft, and that's a killer out there. You find that it's basically kind of like Thomas King talks about making your home a hard target. You're able to make yourself and your identity a hard target by enacting this promotional block. William Crowley, the credit magician here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to offer you an opportunity to engage with us. Part of our formula here is helping you be a successful consumer. So reach out if you'd like a free credit package. William Crowley is going to offer this credit package for the first 3 listeners who text in 813-670-7372. All you have to do is text the word credit to 813-670-7372. William, you think we can do 5 this time? 5 credit packages?
Let's do that. Yeah,
let's do 5.
It.
Okay, so 813-670-7372. We're going to do 5 credit packages for the first 5 listeners who reach out and text that word to our phone. We're going to get right back in touch with you. We're going to follow up with asking your name and email, and then we'll get that credit package out to you. And you can even have a consultation with William Crowley, answer any of your questions about credit, what's happening in your world, and talk about that promo block. That's a way that we can do it as well. Let's go to Diane now. Diane Vance. When you look at the timing and this time of year, is there any seasonal advice that you'd think about? And then also, part 2 of the question is, it seems like the quantitative easing, the Federal Reserve, printing money, and with these numerous bailouts, what do you think is going to happen with the dollar? Is our dollar still staying strong, or are we watering it down too much?
Well, I think we don't have a choice right now, but I really think it's just because it's something that's never happened. So, but it's a good time to actually. I'm hoping that they pass a stimulus and they actually get it to the people that actually need it. And there's a lot of people. They're going to be out of money on the 26th of December. So I'm hoping that happens soon. But as far as I think the government has, I think they learned, and I think they've done what they needed to do to actually keep us where we're at. Actually, I'm quite surprised, not by the government doing it, but as well as the economy has done with what the situation is this year.
Right.
So interest rates are very good still, as you know. Some of the bonds are moving upwards, but that's, it's not affecting the interest rates in a negative way at this time, but they still are doing quantitative easing, and I don't think they plan on changing anything soon. I know the Feds are planning on leaving the interest rates where they're at as far as the, overnight lending rate.
Yep.
So, it really depends on what happens after the vaccine and after everything gets back to normal, but it looks like it's going to be a very strong economy once it's actually pretty strong. If you think about it right now, I'm actually quite surprised, but it's going to be a good year. And I think there's a lot of optimism for next year. and
Yeah.
and after that. So I think you're going to have some people that are going to probably, unfortunately, you probably have some foreclosures going on, but it seems as though all the lenders are working with the people that need the help. So, if the listeners need help, just make sure they call their lender if they need help on whatever it is. Just make sure you call them and let them know whether you have a job or you don't have a job. And, if you need help, there are people out there to help you right now.
Right. Yeah, and be careful with a lot of the scams. That's another part of our show. We're making sure we let you know about the different scams. So, be careful about the call about, hey, your kids, your grandkids, they need money, they got in trouble. There's a lot of different scams around the real estate space. There's scams. People take pictures of properties that we have listed. They post them on Craigslist. And there's another scam. They're trying to get you to rent it for the record, really low rent. And by the way, you got to send us cash or a cashier's check to this P.O. box. You got to read through those things, folks, and make sure you don't get taken advantage of. Let's do a parting word of wisdom. William Crowley, give us some final thoughts here. William Crowley?
Yes, I'm sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Give us a final thought. We're going to coming into our break here, so give us your final words of wisdom.
Just want people to become proactive and don't be scared to look at these laws in the Fair Credit Reporting Act. They are confusing, but the only way to really understand them is to get in there and read them in our package, like we were talking about earlier. That's going to help you to be able to go through that information and decipher the hieroglyphics, is what I call it, and be able to look at it in layman's terms.
Perfect. William Crowley, the Credit Magician, thank you so much. Diane Vance, final thoughts.
Final thoughts are start to make your plan. It's a great time to start, and whether it's purchasing a home, whether it's your business, whether it's personal, whatever it is, start planning and just do it.
Absolutely, just do it. I like that. And reach out to the hotline. We'd love to talk to you. Anything you need in the financing space, of course, we've got you covered. Real estate as well. Reach out to the hotline, consumerqb.com. Thanks so much, Diane. We appreciate it. And when we come back, we've got Lisa Walls. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about writing your own book and a lot of cool things from a marketing perspective as well. And a lot of ways that this could go for you. So, Brothers, this segment is going to be coming up as Brothers Easy Moving as well. And stay with us. We got our feel-good story of the day. Missing boater found clinging to capsized boat. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you and feature your real estate listing live on air on our syndicated show that airs in 85 different outlets, Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, of course, our broadcast shows as well on radio. So we'd love to talk to you about that as well. 12208 Four Oaks Road. This is an investment opportunity. Attention builders, developers. You ever hear of Carrollwood, one of the nicest parts in Tampa Bay? People love Carrollwood. 12208 Four Oaks Road. This is a great opportunity to buy 5 acres in the heart of Tampa Bay, build and develop and make this property up to 40 units. So you could put 40 units up in Carrollwood. The great opportunity to own real estate. It's over $1 million investment, but a great opportunity here. Owners are motivated, and we are looking for offers. Also, another commercial property, 1780 Clearwater Largo Road. This is a property that is in beautiful Pinellas County, right off of a main thoroughfare with about 50,000 vehicles, and it's only priced in the mid-200s. I think it's the low to mid-200s at 1780 Clearwater Largo Road. Great commercial property available. Reach out. We'd love to talk to you on our hotline, 813-670-7372. You can call or text that line or send us an email through the website, consumerqb.com. Brandon at BrandonRhymes.com is another email that you can reach us out at. Every day, we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we got a missing boater found clinging to a capsized boat. A boater has been who had been missing for days was found clinging to a capsized boat off Florida's Atlantic coastline over on the East Coast. Stuart B., 62, was reported missing Friday after he failed to returned to port. On Sunday, a crew on board a 225-foot container ship spotted B clinging to the bow of his 32-foot boat about 86 miles off Cape Canaveral. The container ship, the Angelus, pulled B from the water, throwing him a buoy, and then he notified the Coast Guard, which immediately deployed a crew to retrieve him. And, quote, saving lives at sea is our highest calling, said Captain Mark Blond, commanding officer to Coast Guard sector in Jacksonville. This was truly incredible outcome that demonstrates the bond among mariners in our community, he added. So, of course, you know, we support our first responders, our military, our veterans, our teachers, nurses, and Coast Guard is one that kind of you forget about the Coast Guard every now and then, but that's a great group. The fire, we want to help them if they're buying, selling, or investing. We offer discounts for them as well. So pretty cool story in our feel-good story of the day. And we have Lisa Walls in studio. Welcome in.
Hey, how are you doing?
Excellent. Yeah, thanks so much. And it's the Ghost Publishing. Eli is the godfather of ghostwriting, and we've you've been on the show before. We've had your husband on the show before. Tell us what's going on over there with folks wanting to write their book.
It's been amazing. A lot of people don't know we don't just do ghostwriting and editing. We also do coaching. And we've been engaging a Facebook group for a 45-day Write Your Book Challenge every night.
Nice.
Engaging with about 15 people who are passionate about writing their book but don't know where to start, or they've started and they don't know how to move forward. And just coaching them through that process. It's been amazing. So many people out there with great stories that need to get to print.
Yes, absolutely. There's everybody has a story in them, especially I love the business angle. I've been subscribed to this methodology for years now, and it just really works. I see people's eyes light up when I hand it to a client, or even, for example, yesterday we had some gentlemen cleaning our home yesterday. One of our partners here, Mold Zero. Unfortunately, we had mold, but I gave them a copy of the book, and they're like, "Oh, wow, this is cool." It's like it just raises the bar.
There's something so powerful about being able to share with somebody, I'm not only excellent at what I do, I wrote the book on what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't have to say much more than that.
Yeah. So there's a business application. There's a marketing application. I've also heard it, for example, hey, my grandmother, unfortunately, she's kind of on her last leg. She's about to pass. But, how cool would that be for your grandma? You say, hey, let's sit you down. Let's get a tape recorder. Let's have you talk to one of our writers. And getting those stories from grandma who went through the Depression, who went through World War II or whatever scenario, and learning those stories from grandpa and grandma, that would be a book in itself to be passed down from the family.
Well, and I know Eli himself, he's worked on 2 memoirs, one of which is about to be made into a major motion picture.
Nice.
These stories, they're desperately needed out there, positive, life-affirming, what people have come through and what they've battled and the adversity they've faced and how they've come out of it. That's what people want to hear, see, read.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one is Falling from the Sky, Captain Will Smith. who we've teamed up as well. I'm helping him with that book, or with the movie side, the film side. So it's interesting. So there's a lot of ways that this can happen. What's the process like? Because I can just hear the busy business owner. Oh, I'm a busy attorney. I'm a CPA. I don't know how much time I would have for this, but it's very minimal time investment.
It is. Typically, a client comes to us because they're too busy. They're articulate. They have no problem sharing their information. But to actually codify it and put it into a book form, it does take a lot of time and labor. But that's on us. What we ask for is about an hour a week to interview. And maybe a couple emails back and forth if we have some questions. But in an hour a week, we can get your book done in 3 months. And it's a powerful opportunity to press forward, right? Because a lot of people have a book in them. They've even started. But to actually finish, most people who start a book, I mean, it's something like 86% never even finish the book. And of course, most of those never get to print. We carry you through the whole process.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're talking with Lisa Walls here, theghostpublishing.com, theghostpublishing.com. And you've heard Eli Gonzalez on the show here before as well. Now, one of the things that I hear debated these days is the American dream. What is the American dream? Home ownership, starting a business. I think writing a book is an American dream, and especially when the aspect we talk about from a perspective of differentiation in the marketplace, innovation, and all of the cool social media stuff you can do around it as well.
Well, especially now because books are transformative in a way that maybe they weren't 20 years ago.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you went to a bookstore if you wanted information, if you wanted to know how to create a garden or how to finance your first commercial property. But now every book that's modern and forward-thinking, and these are the books that we focus on, they speak to the reader in a more transformative way. Not only am I going to tell you what I know, but I'm going to tell it and impart it in a way that's powerful, that positively impacts you and motivates you to get out there and do the thing that you want to do.
Yes. I tell you, that was when Eli and I started talking 3 or 4 months ago, because we're almost done with the book now. Quarterbacking Success is the name. When we started talking, and just to hear how he had laid out the chapters for me, he's like, here's what I think we could do, and you've got the climax and you got the idea, and it's like, okay, now it's on the reader. This is for the reader to really understand and make that move. So I love how they laid it. You've got it laid out now, so it's almost like a perfect model that you're repeating with your different authors.
Right. I mean, nobody writes textbooks anymore. There was a time when that was the nonfiction genre, was almost like a light textbook. But now it's about creating that relationship with your reader.
Yes.
Letting them know not only is there information that you have for them, but you are the go-to person.
Right on.
And at the very end, of course, there's the call to action. Connect with me.
Yes.
I want to be the person who helps you through this process. And that's what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just a fun thing to do. It's really cool. It's a rewarding thing. I think we talk about goal setting earlier in the show with Diane, and you talk about checking off a check mark of a goal accomplished and celebrating the wins. That's a pretty cool thing to do, is to celebrate that win with your team, with your family, with your loved ones, and just have that sense of pride.
Yes. I mean, right now we're coaching these 15 people through writing their book. Every one of them is going to have a completed book by the first of the year.
That's cool.
I mean, what a way to walk into 2021.
Yeah, I love that. So the coaching side, and I know, by the way, other coaches out there. So if you're listening to this, you're maybe a business coach, or there's so many different types of coaches now. It's kind of sprung up over the last 3 or 4 years. Life coaches, a lot of life coaches out there. But the ones that are great, the ones that are good, this is something where you might want to take action, reach out to Lisa and her team. What would be a call to action to somebody out there that's saying, I'm not sure, maybe there's a video you can send them or some kind of a report. They kind of want to raise their hand and get more information, but they're not ready to commit.
Yeah, it's a matter of reaching out. They can reach out directly to me, Lisa, at theghostpublishing.com, or even Eli, the ghost himself, the Godfather ghostwriter, Eli at theghostpublishing.com. And we do have information we can send you that tells you more about the process and the expectation and what we do offer. I mean, there's all kinds of levels. Some people just need editing. They've written what they need, but some people need a little bit more than that, and we're ready to help.
Absolutely. So email directly Lisa at theghostpublishing.com, or Eli as well as theghostpublishing.com. So good stuff. I love it. I love the ideas. I love this time of year for goal setting. If somebody said, hey, this is a goal of mine, they could have a book by end of March.
Absolutely. That would be easy to achieve if they could give us a call or reached out to us.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. I love it. A lot of good things happening, and thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. And when we talk about consumer advocacy with this show, I want you to remind you 80 different categories consumer advocate content. We want you to think about this show as the hub of your financial, your business, your real estate wheel, all those spokes extending out, representing another one of our on-air experts, just like Lisa herself today, talking about writing a book, publishing, becoming a published author. We've got 80 different categories. So reach out. We'd love to connect with you. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. The Consumer Quarterback Show page, of course, out there on Facebook. Link up on LinkedIn. And consumerqb.com is a great resource. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there, their contact information from the website, consumerqb.com. Got a great lineup for you tomorrow as well. We're going to have Sean Fabre for Brave Frameworks coming in, and also one of our newer show partners, Ramin, who owns a pressure washing business as well. So stay with us. We'll be back tomorrow with a great lineup for you. ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.